started to talk about that a second ago. Now, Skip, you have a fabulous podcast, and this week you were talking about KD's choice to join Golden State and that it saved Steph's legacy but wrecked LeBron's. Skip said if KD had stayed in OKC, LeBron would be 6-4 in the finals instead of 4-6. Some really interesting arguments. Shannon, dive in here with me. Do you agree or disagree with Skip's premises?
I don't agree. I agree that we might be looking at it didn't wreck LeBron's legacy. I mean, LeBron James is 4-6, yes, but he still has 4 MVPs. He's still on the cusp of being the all-time leading scorer. He's an 18-time All-Star. He's a 17, 18-time All-NBA player. I don't think LeBron's legacy is wrecked. I do think probably a lot more people would look at him, and some will say, well, then he would have a more compelling argument for being the GOAT, being the GOAT, although I believe that he is based on total body of work. But I don't believe that it wrecked his legacy. Now, could it possibly have helped? Yeah, we would view Steph totally different as opposed to being 3-1 against LeBron if he's 1-3 against LeBron, because that's what he's holding on. He's in LeBron's era, and he says, well, I have a 3-1 finals record against LeBron James. So you're 3-1? 2015, 16? Yeah, 3-1. He won 3 with KD.
Yep.
So he says, I have a 3-1. And everybody says that. So you're right. I believe, we would look at Steph Curry differently, Skip. Because if he's 1-3 in the finals, even with those 2 MVPs, we're looking at him different. Absolutely. You make a very compelling case. I do not believe that it wrecked it, because if you look at it, they're not beating. That's why he got on that plane with Clay and Myers and Steve Kerr and Draymond. This is what KD averaged in the NBA in 2017 finals. Kyrie averaged 29 a game. He had 38 in game 3. He had 40 in game 4. LeBron James had 34, 12, and 10, and they lost in 5. That's what he averaged for the series.
Yep.
That's what he averaged for the series. And they lost in 5. So without KD, they're going to get the brakes beat off them. And they knew that. That's why they went and got KD after 2016. They were never going to beat Kyrie and LeBron again.
Never. Agreed.
And they knew that.
They
could get on there, and Draymond can have his podcast, and he does a great job. And Steph can say LeBron was whining and all that he wants to. But that's why they went and got Kevin Durant, because they needed an equalizer. Someone that can say, you know what, go get a bucket. We can drop the ball down to you, and you can get a bucket. They weren't going to beat him again. So, yes, it changed the way we view Steph Curry. We would look at him totally different. With those 2 MVPs, he won those in the regular season. But it's the 3-1 record that he has against LeBron that people like, he beat LeBron 3 times. Yeah, he did. Kevin Durant changed Steph Curry's fortune. He changed his career. It changed the way we look at him. I disagree with you and say it wrecked LeBron. I think LeBron is just fine, but the Warriors needed KD, and KD needed the Warriors. But you're absolutely right, Skip. The way Kyrie was playing, Kyrie was at his apex of superpowers. 29 points. Let that sink in. He averaged 29, and LeBron averaged a triple-double, 34, 12, and 10. They weren't going to beat him, because you had to take out or remove Kevin Durant's 35 points a game, because that's what KD averaged in 2017. Correct. So you're absolutely right. It changed the way we view Steph Curry, KD coming to Golden State.
Okay. Before I launch, I think you will validate the fact that when Kevin Durant this year, round 1 versus these Celtics, just shrank, he got completely overmatched. He got bullied, is what happened, into no-mas submission. That's what happened. I was the first one to come out here and call him Kevin Durant. So I will be objective about him when it's time. But as time passes, as we all look back on July the 4th of 2016, it becomes a watershed moment in the history of this league.
Yeah.
It is a turning point. It is a north-south moment for legacies and careers, because Kevin shocked the NBA world by not staying in Oklahoma City, which most people thought he'll stay with his little buddy Russ, right?
Yes.
What It was the biggest bombshell dropped in NBA free agency ever, unless you want to go Kawhi didn't go to the Lakers.
Kawhi had an earthquake moment.
Okay.
You remember that?
It was literally
a little earthquake.
When he went to the Clippers. But this was Kevin Durant, who's a cut above Kawhi. This is going to the highest level. This is when I began to call him best player on the planet, because he said, no, I can't win with this little man in Oklahoma City as my primary decision maker. I've tried it, but I'm going into my 10th year. So I am going to maximize my chances of winning my first ring in my 10th NBA season. I'm going to join forces with that same team that we had down 3-1 in the conference finals.
Correct.
And yet, you have made the case he needed them as much as they needed him.
Right.
But I am here to tell you, as I look back and hark back on the magnitude of that moment, the pressure on Kevin Durant was extraordinary because he joined Golden State, because they had crumbled with a 3-1 lead over LeBron and company and blown it with 2 of the last 3 at Oracle. So the NBA world is looking at Kevin Durant as, you better be the difference maker. And you don't think Kevin knew? He's got high basketball IQ. He knew what loomed on the horizon, collision course with LeBron and Kyrie and company and Kevin Love, but collision course with LeBron for at least the next 2 finals.
Yes.
And it was 17 and 18, right on cue. It turned up Kevin Durant versus LeBron. And what did Kevin do in a Game 3 in 2017 in LeBron's house? Well, boy, it went down to the wire. And Kevin made one big shot, a jump shot, but then the one that tilted the NBA world came, if we could see this one, he pulls up on a semi-break and shoots that 3 right in LeBron's face. And by the way, that 3 put them up 1. That was with 47 seconds left. He makes that 3. Then with 13 seconds left, Kevin had to go to the free throw line. They were up 1 at that point. He made both free throws to put them up 3. They won that game 118 to 113 and obviously did not look back.
Correct.
Okay, so to me, if Steph has to face LeBron 2 more times, they're going to get crushed
They're
again.
not winning.
Yeah, they're not going to go up 3-1 because LeBron, the confidence they gained with Ty Lue as their coach, right?
Yeah, the confidence that they got from coming back from 3-1 in 2016. And Kyrie was at his apex.
Yeah.
Kyrie, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Kyrie averaged like 26, 26. Games in the 2016 finals, Skip. But you look at it, he averaged 30 over the last 3. LeBron averaged 33 because remember they put that 41-41 piece on him in Game 5. The only teammates to ever score 40 in an NBA Finals game combined, 2 teammates. So we know where Kyrie was headed. Kyrie was sensational. Skip, they knew that. So we got to get an equalizer. But KD also, Skip, I don't believe KD. KD is ranked ahead of Steph Curry. I think in the end, I saw somewhere they said KD is the 12th best player all time.
Yeah.
And Steph is 16. The question is, both of these guys would be lower had they not linked. I don't believe Steph Curry is going to be 16 if he has 2 regular season MVPs and 1 title. Mm-hmm. I don't believe Kevin Durant's going to be as high as he is with 1 MVP and no titles.
Yeah, because the pressure was mostly on Kevin in 17 and 18 to be not the equalizer, to be the difference maker.
Correct.
And he rose and he shone.
Yes.
And I started saying, that's the best player on the planet. So I half joked on my podcast, really not even joked. Kevin Durant saved me from LeBron because he saved me from you. Because if LeBron does win 17 and 18 titles to get to 6 and 4 now, you could come back at me and say, well, he's got 6 rings just like Jordan does. And obviously, Jordan was 6 and 0.
And he's gonna be the MVP in all of them. 3-peat.
Okay, and you could throw back at me. Well, LeBron went to 8 straight finals, and I would like to throw back at you. Well, Michael got sent home for a couple of years, or he would have gone to 8 straight NBA. He would have won 8 straight NBA championships, won them all.
Right.
But the point is, your GOAT case would be hugely strengthened if you could say 6 rings to 6 rings. And Kevin Durant said no. He stopped that.
Right.
He was the one who shut that down.
Right. The thing is, Skip, is that the reason why I say Kevin Durant needed Golden State as much as they needed him, where else could he have gone? And we automatically say they're the title favorite. because they got installed as soon as he signed with Golden State. Golden State was the prohibited. Could he have stayed in OKC and they would have been the favorite? I don't believe they can. What are the landscape? Where else could he have gone? So that's why I say he needed them, because Skip, he needed a situation where he just add water and we instantaneous. It's what like what these military meal prep, Skip. You know what I'm saying? Skip, hey, just add water. That thing, you got lasagna, you got pizza, you got whatever it is.
I got it. He was just so good in 2015-16 that you could make a case he could have gone anywhere. Pick a good team, pick a contender, and if you add Kevin Durant, you would have had a shot.
Yes,
right,
but not like Golden State.
Well,
he made Golden State unbeatable in a series. I'm not saying you couldn't take a game off them, but he made them unbeatable. Kind of he made them like OU women's softball team. I'm watching them. Skip, you might take a game, but they're unbeatable in a series. He made them unbeatable.
By the way, can I take a quick moment? I was going to do this off the top of the show, and I just forgot. Can I congratulate my Oklahoma Sooners on yet another, that's 4 out of 6 years?
Ooh, they got him.
I got to tell you, Jocelyn Allo, to me, is the most dominant college player I've seen in any sport, and this is a mouthful, since Kareem was Lou Alcindor at UCLA. That's how dominating she was. You couldn't get her out. She has power and finesse because she can single you to death.
Yeah, but Skip, when they put back the ball, it leaves the park. And I thought the kid they had a couple of years ago, they had a kid named Chamberlain. I thought, well, she's the greatest hitter I've seen. And then this kid